Faith is the beginning, the gentle stirring of our wings when we're encouraged by our need.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Linda Graziano, and welcome to the Canvas of Hope. I'm so excited today. We have an incredible guest speaker. Her name is Alana Andrews, and she's coming live from Loudoun County, Virginia. She's an amazing, young, well-accomplished woman at the tender age of 16. She's authored a couple of books, and she runs two businesses. She's an author, a CEO, and is so positive. Her company, So Positive, and the Sway Corporation are innovative in its approach in developing products for teens to promote positive lifestyles while developing positive self-image of themselves. It's truly amazing, and it's wonderful to have you here this afternoon, Alana. Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, thank you. I'm very excited to be a part of this amazing project.
Well, thank you. As you know, the Canvas of Hope started because I was nominated for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society's Man and Woman of the Year. And that's a 10-week-long raise as much money as possible for cancer, for blood cancer specifically. My family has been touched 6 different occasions with family members who've struggled through cancer. So for me, this is a real issue, and understanding the challenges that people are facing today, we're bringing you this Canvas of Hope to bring hope and inspiration into your lives. And with that, in addition to giving money back to LLS, we'll also be giving money to local COVID-19 relief funds. So I'm really excited that your help and support is going to help those in need in our immediate communities. So thank you so much for joining us. Alana, So Positive. Can you tell me a little bit about your company? How did it get started? And how do you maintain such a positive outlook?
Definitely. So when I was younger, I've always been raised in a very positive and a very loving household. Both of my parents have always told me that I can do absolutely anything I can imagine. And so having that strong foundation, I truly believe that. And I noticed that a lot of my other peers didn't have that same mindset. And I realized what that can lead to if you don't think in that positive way. So I wanted to spread that through building different programs that can build it in elementary schools, and to have YouTube videos when I was 9 years old, just talking about positive topics. And then now I still have that positive attitude because I recognize the value of life and the value of time, and the fact that we're still here and that we are able to imagine and dream our biggest dreams. I think that's the greatest gift. So I just bring positivity and find goodness out of that.
That is truly a gift that you bring such support and joy to the world. I really admire your ability to be able to do that. So, since we're looking at bringing hope and inspiration into families, into folks across the country, could you talk a little bit about a time when maybe you had it was a rough going, you were faced with challenges, and then what did you do to overcome it?
Definitely. So when I was in the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, I was tasked to create a company and a product from that company. And I had a really big idea on creating the first ever all-natural teen sports drink, and that is what I'm working on currently. And so I found a company that could do literally everything. They could do the flavoring, the business plan, the marketing, the testing, everything in one whole package. So I was so excited to be working with them. As soon as we got to the final stages, things fell through, and that taught me a big lesson, how to not put all your eggs in one basket. And so I could have easily given up from there, and I could have easily thought that my dream of this drink would never happen. But instead, I took that as a learning opportunity, and I found another company who's been working with us and who's amazing. And from that experience, I learned that great things really do take time, and it is extremely important to be patient.
Wow, that's amazing that you were able to move so quickly and find another solution. Is that something that you find inspirational for other challenges that you may have had?
For sure, definitely. Just having that mindset of never giving up and knowing that there's always light at the end of the tunnel will help you in literally every situation that you encounter.
Wonderful. And given the situation that we're facing today and knowing that this is going to pass, what would you think are a couple of nuggets of things that you can share for folks to get through this time and to stay hopeful?
Yes, definitely. This time is very unfortunate for everyone, and we've never truly experienced something quite like this. And I can understand the feelings of loss and the feelings of negativity that may be coming over us, but it is so important to just trust the process and know that it has to get bad before it gets better. And right now, fortunately, there's a future of it getting better. And we just have to trust the process and know that something great will come out of this. And in the meantime, start to reinvent ourselves and have self-reflection and decide what we want to do with our lives.
If we had a crystal ball and we looked into the future and we were looking back at this time in history, in particular in your life, what would you, if you had that crystal ball and you could actually, be 5 years from now, what would you say would be the biggest lessons that you will learn through this process?
I would say, as I mentioned in my previous question, I would say to be patient, because we can't really do anything right now but be patient. And we have to just ride it out and just know that there's greatness coming out of this and that there will be good after this. And I would just say to be consistent and don't see this as a time to just take a break and give up, but see it as a time to be picked up.
So 5 years from now, let's say 6 years, because now you're 22 and you're soon to graduate from college, right? So
Yes.
what would you say your future looks like from that perspective?
I love looking into the future, so I love this question, but I would say that about 6 years from now, 5 to 6 years from now, I see myself, as you mentioned, in college, about to graduate college. I plan on going to Stanford University, and I see myself starting my second company and traveling a lot and still spreading the word and power of self-confidence, speaking, doing, trying to empower and motivate people with the power of vision and knowing that they can visualize anything and that it will happen, and having a successful Fortune 500 company.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. What are some tips for visioning for the future? You mentioned that you love looking into the future. What are a couple things that people can do who want to vision themselves? And how do you walk, say, a fifth grader or even, a 12th grader, even someone my age, to vision the future and what it could hold for folks? Like, what would be that process?
Well, the amazing thing with visualization is that you can literally think about anything and there's no rules and no boundaries. So a 5-year-old and someone in their mid-30s could start with deciding what they want and what they see themselves becoming, and just focusing on that image in their head and making a vision for it so that they can actually see that visually each time they wake up in the morning. And just having that constantly in front of you will naturally make it occur. And that's the amazing thing about it. If you put attention towards it and energy towards it, it will happen.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. I'm so impressed by what you said. Our book, The Canvas of Hope, is a fabulous book. It's broken out into 3 sections, and it talks about who we are, what we do, and who we become. So it's really a journal that takes people through the process of transformation. And the book is comprised of 38 key inspirational words that were chosen back in January. And what's beautiful is that the words were chosen by students from the ages of 5 to 18-year-olds. And there's some adults in there who also have some work in the book. But we have beautiful illustrations. This one is listening. And we have another word here, empowerment. And each student, in addition to the word and the art, they have a sentence. So I'm going to read you this sentence here. It says, empowerment. Empowerment is being able to claim your right and have confidence in yourself. What do you think about that?
I completely agree with that. Just to empower yourself and to empower others is so important nowadays, and just having that self-confidence that sentence is very powerful. I agree with it.
Yes, and you were all about the self and helping folks find that self-confidence and that ability to really allow the inner workings of who we are to shine outside of themselves, to really show up and be fully empowered. So
Definitely.
you embody that really beautifully.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Before we got on the call, we talked a little bit about a word that spoke to you, and the word that you chose was imagination. Can you share a little bit about how imagination plays into your whole offering and who you are?
Definitely. So, in my opinion, I see imagination and visualization beside each other. And so I always, each time I wake up in the morning, I imagine what my day's going to be like. And I imagine how I'm going to feel. And just having, same thing as visualizing it. And just having that mindset throughout the day and that idea of what I will become, not only once, but will become, really sets the day up, really sets the day out to be positive and have a great impact.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Would you mind if I showed you the picture of imagination?
Of course, I would love to. Yeah.
So here's imagination. It's the piece of art from the book. We mentioned that there's a journal component to this, so people can actually write down what they think about imagination or draw their own pictures. And there's a sentence that goes along with it. And so this young 8-year-old, his name is Sam, he wrote, "A day in the life of an imaginary duckin' who eats purple worms." So he's really using his imagination.
I love that. Imagination's creativity for sure. That's super important.
Yes.
Wow.
So Canvas of Hope, we're hoping to bring some sunshine into the lives of many people. And I am so thrilled to have had this afternoon with you, Alana. You certainly are a ray of sunshine for everyone.
Thank you. I was very excited to be part of this such empowering, impacting, and super important project. So thank you.
Well, thank you. So for our viewers, how could they find out a little bit more about you and your projects, and maybe your website, and maybe even your books?
Definitely. So I am in the process of updating my website. It should be updated and posted in a few weeks, and that'll be alanaandrews.com. And I also have 2 books that you can get on Amazon. My most recent one is Creating Confidence, and that is where I base off my program, the So Positive Initiative to elementary schools, where I spread the word of positivity. I'm also currently working on my 3rd book, and I'm creating a podcast called Gen Z Speaks, which will be available on Spotify and iTunes, and so Apple Podcasts. And so I'm super excited to share that, and I'll be announcing that soon.
Well, that's wonderful. You are really doing a lot of great things. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. Again, this is Linda Graziano with Canvas of Hope. You can find us at canvasofhope.org, O-R-G. Our book is for sale there. We have a beautiful poster with an incredible poem, and be on the lookout for our song called Canvas of Hope. We hope you stay inspired and healthy, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.